it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. For those who don't know me, I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK, and welcome to my YouTube channel if this is the first time you've joined me. Today I'm going to be looking at the Blossoms in Bloom bundle. This is one of the more expensive bundles in the catalogue. It's £55.75, but you could get it for free if you join my team and buy the starter kit. For £99 you get £130 up to £130 of products of your own choice, plus until the end of June, as in 10:30 p.m. at the end of June, you can add any bundle free, and it can be any stamp and die bundle or stamp and punch bundle from the new annual catalogue. And if you're in mainland Europe, so France, Germany, Austria or the Netherlands, for you it would be €129 for €175 of product, and again you get whichever bundle you would like for free, but you can still join my team even if you're in France, Germany, the Netherlands or Austria. So this is the card that I'm going to show you how to make today. It's got coloured vellum, which I'm going to show you how to make, because we don't actually have coloured vellum in the catalogue at the moment. We did in the last catalogue, in the last annual catalogue, but we don't have coloured vellum in the current catalogue. But you can have almost any colour vellum you want just by following my tip today. So I have already die cut. I'm changing colour, just to warn you, we're going Magenta Madness. So we've done, this is Gorgeous Grape, Purple Posy, and yeah, just Gorgeous Grape and Purple Posy. And this time we're going to go Magenta Madness and also Purple Posy. So let me show you how I've put this together. I have die cut my outside piece, which I've used these adhesive sheets on. So that's the Magenta Madness piece. This is going to be Magenta Madness Vellum in just 2 moments. So I'm just going to grab a silicone mat just to protect my work surface. And we've got blends in Magenta Madness. There's the dark and the light. I have done a test. They are quite bright, but when they dry slightly lighter. So this is the light. So I'm actually going to go dark. I used the dark Purple Posy before, and now I'm going to use dark Magenta Madness. And all I'm going to do is, with the side of my blend, I'm going to scribble, and this is the fat end of my blend, I'm going to scribble all the way across my piece of vellum. Don't worry if you've got the odd gap, because we are going to resolve that. So where you've got the odd gap, you can just go back in. And now I just need to check that I have got enough down or not. So I do need to keep going, so that's fine. So we can just turn our vellum and just add more ink. Now you could do this with Stampin' Write markers, but your vellum would get very curly. It does work, but it would all curl up. Vellum and water, not a great combination. Okay, so that's fine. I'm just going to let it dry a little bit more. It's a bit liney. That's a technical phrase. So I'm actually going to do the same thing on the other side, and this helps smooth things out because you're very unlikely to get the same marks overlapping on both sides. So just keep going. And if you can fill in any gaps when it's still wet, it does get a better result, because obviously it then all dries as one piece. So that is going to need to dry, not for long actually. And look, it's so bright. So I'm going to leave that to dry. I've cut both my layers, or mats. The measurements for these will be on my blog, and that's linked below in the associated blog post. While we're waiting for this to dry, and while I'll be die cutting it in a minute, while we're doing that, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel just by clicking the bottom left-hand corner subscribe button. And then if you like the video, do remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm on YouTube to think that this is a popular channel, which I hope it is. So there we go. That is our Magenta Madness Vellum. Now, one side is slightly shinier than the other. I'm going to go for the slightly matte side, which just happens to be the side I've just done. And I'm just going to go and run that through my die cutter, preferably with the right cutting mats. So, just checking that everything is lined up, which it is. Lots of cracking. I'm going to run it through a couple of times. I'm actually going to bring it over because I want to show you why I'm going to run it through a couple of times. So let me just move everything out of the way. Had I thought about this, I would have brought it over a bit at the start. Every single die cutting machine has its own little quirks, and you need to work with those. So mine has a sort of habit of liking particularly vellum to go through the cutter more than once. Vellum can be awkward, so I'm just going to hopefully turn that without moving it, if that makes sense. I mean, obviously I'm moving it, but without moving it on the vellum. And then just run this through again. And of course, demonstrators are going to be able to order the new die cutting machine in August. It'll be available for customers. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. It'll be available for customers come September, but of course customers will be paying full price, where demonstrators will not, because we get it at a discount. That looks perfect. So let me remove that. Let me get rid of my die cutter, which is not the lightest thing in the world, and get my bin in and just get rid of all of the little bits that want to come out. The fact that they're coming out is good news because it means it's cut nicely. So remove the large outside piece, pop that in my big bin, and then these bits I just need to encourage out. You may find that one or two are a little stubborn. I did find on the Purple Posy one that I did have to encourage a few with scissors, but snips have got a lovely fine point, so if we do get any problems with that, it's very easy just to finish the cut with those. But this seems to have gone through really nicely, so that's good. So let me get rid of my cutting plates and my die. So, oops, and some more scraps. So there we go. That is our lovely Magenta Madness. And you can see you couldn't tell that there were lines on that. And then we're going to add the outline. Now this does get a little tricky because we are going to be sticking something very fine to something not so fine, but we want the whole thing to stick. So let me just unpeel that and get rid of that bit which has stayed put. And there is one bit I'm going to need to get rid of, but that's fine, we can do that in a moment. And I've got a little bit of a white outline. I did have a bit of an argument with this, getting it die cut fully. So I've ended up with bits of the release paper still attached in one or two places. So let's get rid of those. That looks like pretty much everything. Ooh, no, maybe not. Maybe not everything. So let's just get rid of these. So far in June, I have had quite a number of people join my team. One lady in particular was absolutely staggered that not only did she get a discount, she also got stamping rewards when she placed her first order as a demonstrator, because we get the best of everything. we get all the rewards that customers get, plus the discount and any promotions that demonstrators are being offered, because we do occasionally get extra promotions as well, and those are demonstrator only promotions. I haven't yet come across a customer only promotion. As I say, we do get the best of both worlds. Right, so I found that kind of just getting it there or thereabouts worked quite well when I did the first one, and then I can adjust anything I need to later. Getting these centres is quite useful because that gives you an anchor point, and then everything else pretty much falls into place. So I don't actually think we're going to need that. So this is the reverse, and I just find it easier to fiddle with the reverse because it's not sticky like the right side can be. And you can see where you need to adjust, like on that leaf. That is pretty much, oh no, that leaf there needs a little fine adjustment. There we go. And that is basically everything we need to do with that. I just need to find my my bone folder. I just want to encourage some of these bits. You need to watch these veins here on the leaves don't have any vellum to stick to. They stick to the card. So when you're pressing down with your bone folder, don't press these or you'll stick them to your work surface. Right, okay, so let me grab my piece of Whisper White and my piece of Purple Posy. I'm going to add one to t'other. I'm going to use some of our lovely new seal. Just get that running. Now, seal is pretty tough stuff, so I don't think you need to put it all the way round the edge. I think just a few pertinent points will do nicely. A light touch is better than a really tough push it down as if your life depends on it. You get a much better result if you use a reasonably light touch with it. And then just pop that down. And then this we're going to stick on with glue dots. And I found that sticking them behind the centre of the flowers means you hide them nicely. Always helpful if you know which one you've stuck and which one you haven't. And then a little one up there, and one just there. And then I found that for behind the leaves, so kind of here, you can fold your glue dot in half and just pop it there. And again, I'll do one down here as well, just to help keep those in place. It's the leaves, these long leaves in particular, that may get caught otherwise. Ooh. And then we can just pop that down, like that. And now you can press your leaf veins down because they can stick nicely. That's just the three of them. Yep, they can stick nicely to the Whisper White. And the only thing that's left to do now is to grab a scrap of Magenta Madness. That should be wide enough. And I did a happy birthday before. I think I'll do thank you this time. And some Whisper White or white embossing powder. Now I am still using my embossing buddy because I like to not have too much embossing buddy flying around actually. I like to make sure that I don't get anything sticking to the surface. Now, I had a block. I had a block. Never mind, I'll use another block. Can't find my long thin block, so I'll use my C block. If in doubt, C normally works nicely. And just ink up, thank you. And stamp that down. Dabble it in my embossing powder. And if you've joined me before, you will know that when I do embossing, I like to dabble twice, just in case the first time doesn't quite pick everything up. Ooh, can't get my lid back on, never mind, I'll worry about that in a moment. Okay, so heat gun on. Cheese board. This is just a bamboo cheese board. I think I got it at a local garden centre. Honestly, can't remember. And blast. And that's that. So I just want that to set. And while I'm waiting for that to do its thing, let's finish up building up the card. So I've got a half sheet of Magenta Madness scored in the middle, and I've done it long and thin, and just bone folder. Now it is going to need a liner, and what would be quite fun would be, let me grab my Magenta Madness ink. Now this is going to stain my stamp. It's fine, it doesn't matter. Oh, and here's my little trick. So let's ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp it in the corner. This is going to be covered up, so I don't mind that that's there, because then I've got my nice Magenta Madness stamp. And clean that off. The quicker you clean red ink off your photopolymer stamps, the less staining they will have, but they will stain. It's just part of the deal. And then grab the centre and my baby block and purple. Oh, I can't do purple posy ink, can I? But I can do Highland Heather. So I'm going to do second generation Highland Heather. So that's one generation, and just stamp that in the middle. So we've got a centre to our flower, and then that can be the inside of our card. And again, not very much seal. And I have kind of got that fast fuse flick going. Don't know why. I don't think you need it. Well, it does string a little. The flick certainly does help with that. But I think it's just me being cack-handed that it does it a bit. But yeah, as I say, you don't need much. So let's just pop that down. No one would know that we've used that as a piece of scrap. And grab some dimensionals. And in fact, what I used, and I'm going to do again, a few weeks back, or a week or so ago, I used our new foam sheets to die cut, and this is the bit that's left, which is a little thicker than our normal dimensionals. Sorry, that's flapping in the breeze too much for my liking. So I'm not convinced it will go through as large letter in the UK, but it will work very well as backing for our card. So rather than throwing it away, which seems like a tremendous waste to me, let's just use it on the back of our piece of card. As I say, I just don't like the idea of throwing it away when it's perfectly usable. It's a bit like throwing away the edge of your dimensionals. That just feels criminal to me because they work very well. So do remember, use up all your little bits of foam. It's got adhesive on both sides, so let's just use it up. And one last piece. Whoops. And then let's get rid of those bits and the rubbish, and then just peel these off, and then we're basically done apart from attaching the thank you. So as I say, any colour vellum, you've got it. If you've got a blend that is that colour, you can have vellum that colour too. And you end up with a lovely, bright, zingy card. There we go. So let me grab my mini chopper. And I'm afraid this is not available. This was part of the joining promotion during Celebration, but it's so useful. Actually, I'm going to go in that way, then I can look at the length a bit better. There we go. So just chop the ends off that, pop my chopper away, and I'm just going to have this down here. And I think I'll use Seal Plus because we've got a bit of lumpy bumpy. So a bit of Seal Plus. This comes in little strips. So can you see? Possibly not. Let me see if I can make it a bit clearer. Come on. Ugh, it doesn't want to attach itself to me. Can you see that? There's that little strip. So that certainly doesn't need any sort of flicking to get it off. It's just naturally broken anyway. And this I will pop just down here to finish off our card. So there we are. 2 pretty vellum-backed cards. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. As I say, if you don't already subscribe, the button is down there. If you want to see close-ups, a bit more information, some general chit-chat, that will be over on my blog post, and that's the associated post link immediately below. Over on my website, you'll also find all the details of what I've used, which are also listed below, but you can find them with picture on my website. And the joining offer information will be there. You've got about a day to make the most of that offer, so please, please, please don't miss out. Join my team and get the most amazing starter kit. You will also get access to all of my paid for tutorials free, as well as training if you would like it. If you want to just be a happy shopper, please be a happy shopper, that's fine too. But if you want to turn this into a business, I have got training that I can help you with that, and I'm just starting a training program, so now would be a great time to take advantage of that. Thank you very much indeed for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.